It's time for this week's episode of Brandon Sports Talk, featuring in-depth interviews from those who are trending in the world of athletics. And now, here's the host of Brandon Sports Talk, Brandon Pate.
Welcome back to Brandon Sports Talk. In today's episode, I have the privilege to interview the Asheville Tourists Promotions Manager, Alyssa Ouirk. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you? I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. Can you talk about how you knew that you wanted to work in professional sports on the baseball side?
Yeah, so I actually began working in sports in 2018. I was working part-time with the Great Lakes Loons. I'm from Michigan originally, so I worked part-time with them just on their promotions team. It was a job that just kind of fell into my lap. I heard about it when I was on campus going to Central Michigan University, and the team itself was only about 30 minutes away from where I went to school. So found out about the job, figured why not? I love baseball. I've been going to baseball games my whole life. I'm going to go work there for the summer, and just like absolutely fell in love with it. It was the best summer of my life. I had so much fun. I just remember like leaving work every day and having the biggest smile on my face and thinking like, this is so cool. And I learned a lot about the industry itself, even just from working part-time there. And so I tried to make it a point to job shadow some of the people that were full-time staff members just to learn more about what they did. And that's kind of when I got an idea in my head of like, oh, you can make a career out of this. Like you can work in sports full-time. And ever since then, I just wanted to run with it because I thought it was so cool.
What was it like going to Central Michigan to study public relations and promotions and advertising?
Yeah, I love Central. It's an amazing school. I had the best professors. The PR program is great. Just to speak to it, like our professors are so invested in their students' lives. I would go to my professor's house for breakfast in the morning and she'd be helping me with our projects and stuff. Like they are so great there. And going into school, I didn't realize at that point that I wanted to work in sports. So I didn't study anything sports related. And then it was the summer before I graduated that I worked for the Loons and then realized like, well, this is cool. I want to keep going with this. But they were so helpful in the sense that they guided me and directed me and told me like these things that I'm learning about public relations, promotions, marketing, like these can be used your sports career, and they're so supportive of that. So I'm definitely very thankful that I went to CMU, and I have amazing memories there for sure.
How is it like obviously getting your start working on the college level at your alma mater in the events before you made the jump to professional sports?
Yeah, so I was like a student event coordinator, and it was so great because it gave me incredible experience. I basically was with clients from start to finish, and this was internal clients like students or staff members, or external clients, so businesses in the community or anybody just looking to host an event and wanted to do it on campus. They would come to me and I would be with them from start to finish, right? So they'd have this idea in their head of, I want to, have this student organization meeting and I want to have it every single week. Like, how do we set that up? And I was that person that would, get them their event space. I would get them the equipment they needed. I would connect them with catering staff if they needed it. And just to be able to see that whole event through was really rewarding. And I think that really helped me dive into minor league and see that process of like creating promotions, start to finish, and seeing a season start to finish and having that rewarding feeling at the end is very similar to what I felt when I was helping with events. So I think it just gave me a really good foundation for what I was going to be doing in my career.
What was it like when you got the internship with the Charleston River Dogs?
Yeah, I was so excited because I got that internship about 6 months after I finished working with the Loons. And as I had said, like I finished with the Loons and knew like I want to keep working in sports. Like I just don't think I can go into any other industry. The sports world is just where I feel the most confident, the most comfortable, and I knew I wanted to run with that. And so I got the internship with the River Dogs, and it's funny because I never had any intention on leaving Michigan. I was a homebody. I was like, I love Michigan. I want to stay here my whole life. And I got that internship and I just knew I was like, I have to go. Like, I have to do it. It would be such a great opportunity. And it was a full-time internship. So I was like, I'm going to learn so much and I'm going to be there for about 6 months and I'm going to just dive in and see every single aspect of minor league. And I'm so glad I did. I loved it so much. They run a great program there, and I learned more than I think I could ever have had imagined I was going to.
What were some of your roles while being the promotions intern?
Yeah, so they are very good about giving their interns ownership and responsibility. So they really like give you projects and they're yours. So I, for example, was in charge of certain theme nights throughout the week. Like every Tuesday was our Live and Local Tuesday. And we ran an entire farmer's market on the concourse. So when you're walking through, it's like being at a farmer's market at a baseball game. I was in charge of that entire thing the whole summer. So every single vendor we had come out, from setup to tear down, everything was my responsibility. And then I just had, the basic promotional responsibilities that every team has to do: national anthem, auditions, and scheduling anthem singers, first pitches, like your Field of Dreams kids that come out on the field and run out the players, like kind of coordinating all of that, obviously writing the script, and then during games doing on the on fields and just interacting with the fans, just being that very like fan facing person who's always in the seating bowl and just around all of the fans, trying to help their experience and just be with fans all the time. So that's really like, those were my main responsibilities during games, and I absolutely loved it. Just fell in love with baseball even more than I had when I was working part-time with the Loons.
What was the transition like from going from Charleston, South Carolina to Asheville, North Carolina to get your job with the Asheville Tourists?
Yeah, it was great. I was really excited because at the time they were both in the South Atlantic League, and I was so excited to be sticking with the Sally League. When I was in Charleston, I had heard awesome things about Asheville. I heard that McCormick Field is so historic and it's beautiful and it's a great place to be. And so when I did my interview for the Tourist, I was like, this is great. Like, I've heard amazing things already. And Sam Fisher, who was our former assistant general manager, she did my interview with me. And I knew, even after speaking with her on the phone for 45 minutes, I was like, I got to work with this girl. She was just absolutely incredible. We got along great. And I am so glad that I did, moving down here and working with her. She's an incredible leader and mentor, and still is like one of my closest friends. And so I was super, super thankful to be able to work with her.
What was it feeling like when you got that call that Asheville wanted you to become the promotions manager?
Yeah, I would say it's similar to like how I felt when I got my internship with the River Dogs. Just super excited because I knew, like I had said before, I wanted to keep going in this career and work in this industry. So the more I could progress in it, the more excited I was. And I had a great boss in Charleston. His name is Nate Currant. He was another incredible leader. I've been so thankful and so fortunate to work with some of the best in the industry, and he did such a good job teaching me all of the promotional side of things. And so I was very excited to take what he had taught me during my internship and try to implement that somewhere else, and just be even half as good as he is at his job. So I was very, very excited to bring that to Asheville.
What are some of your different roles that obviously as a promotions manager you do?
Yeah, so I definitely never stay, I never get bored. We'll put it that way. I stay very busy. So I run all of our social media accounts here. So with that, obviously comes with a lot of photography and graphic design. So I create all the graphics as well. We send out weekly newsletters that highlight either ticket sales or merchandise or, whatever that looks like, things going around on the ballpark, events, those kind of things. So I create weekly newsletters. Obviously, in season, I'm doing all of, again, like the national anthem singers, auditioning and scheduling them. I'm in charge of first pitches, all of the pregame things. I write the script every night, and then I work really closely with our PA announcer and our video board guy. So I'm up in the press box a lot, just coordinating the whole, I guess, layout of the game and like what that all looks like for fans. I'm on the mic during the game, so I'm emceeing a lot of our on-fields as well, grabbing contestants, bringing them down, doing the whole on-field, making sure people are having fun, staying safe. So giveaways, we do a jersey giveaway every Saturday, so coordinate a lot of that. So it's kind of all over the place. I'm in charge of our mascots too, so I make sure that they're having fun and that they're good to go during games, and I do community appearances with them as well. So yeah, a little bit of everything. I also help out in sales in our box office too. So like I said, never gets bored, and I love it because there's so much to do, and it's just a really cool thing to have a little bit of a part in everything that we do around here is just really special.
How is that like, obviously, scheduling the mascot appearances for each home game?
Yeah, I mean, I have great mascots that I work with. They are so easy to work with. They're flexible and they love what they do. So I am personally never scrambling to like find somebody to work. They love it. They would be here all the time if they could. And we have two different mascots. We have Teddy and we have Mr. Moon. And I have multiple people that kind of fulfill those roles for me. So usually I try to get their schedule to them fairly early on. So I'll send it out a month in advance of, hey guys, here's our games for the month of April. What are we looking at people's schedules? Do you need time off? What days can you work, can't you work? And I just kind of schedule them out from there. And like I said, they're all so great. I never have any issues trying to get them to come into work because they love it so much.
What are some of the different promotions that you've come up with over the years?
Yeah, it's cool because I really like how Asheville does it. And Charleston was this way as well, but it's always like a team effort. I can't say that there's very many promotional things that I'm like, oh, that was all me, because normally it's a thing where we'll sit down and we brainstorm and it's just kind of like a rapid fire of ideas and then we create something together. And I love that. I love that teamwork aspect of it. And so if you take even a theme night like our Copa nights, where we've become the Yakumamas de Asheville, you take a theme night like that and we sit down, we're like, all right, how do we make this more interactive? How do we really bring this to life for fans? And we can brainstorm songs that we want to play and things that we want to have on the concourse and maybe a specialty menu item we want to have that night. And to really see it come together from all of our ideas is really cool. So I just enjoy those brainstorming sessions that we all get to have.
What are some of the different promotions that you all have come up with?
Yeah, so tourists are known. I don't know if you noticed, we have a patent for Thirsty Thursday. So the tourists patent that, we came up with that long time ago, not something that I personally did, but that's kind of cool that we have that patent and that we own Thirsty Thursday. We're also the only team that I know that does weekly jersey giveaways. So every single Saturday throughout the season, for the most part at least, we do a jersey giveaway. It looks just like the jerseys that the team wears. So it's a replica. And it's pretty cool. Fans love it. It's the first 1,000 fans in the ballpark that get that. And we never have any left because fans love them so much, which is always really fun too. So I love doing those. And then we also become the Asheville Hippies once a season. So basically that kind of dates back to this Twitter feud that we had with the Green Bull Drive. They called us the Asheville Hippies. There was a bet placed, like if we lost this game, we would become the Hippies, or they would become, I want to say it was the Rednecks or something like that. Regardless, it ended up being like a rain out, and we decided, we're going to become the Asheville Hippies anyway, and just make it work. And so we became the Asheville Hippies. It's something that we do every single year now. And then the Beer City Tourists is another one that we do every season. So Asheville is known as Beer City. We have a ton of craft beer here. So fans always really get on board with that, especially the local ones that are from around here and love to visit all the breweries that are local to here.
Of course, when doing the promotions like the jersey giveaways, of course, how does that happen and what is it like preparing for that when you know that a lot of people will want that particular jersey?
Yeah, so we definitely set up like a rope system to create that line, and the line runs down our entire concourse. So basically a fan comes in, their ticket is scanned like normal game, and they're given a little voucher. And they walk down the line, down the concourse, and we have tables set up with all of the jerseys. And they walk up, we ask them their size, they tell us, they give us their little ticket voucher. So it's kind of like an exchange. You get this little voucher when you walk in, you give it to the person at the jersey table, and then you get a jersey. And we just have that line set up that runs down the concourse to try to keep it as organized as possible. And truthfully, that line will go down the concourse and then it kind of goes outside the gate as well. People line up like 2 hours in advance sometimes to wait for these jerseys. So it's actually a pretty smooth process. Obviously, it can be a lot when there's 1,000 people lined up waiting to get in, but for the most part, I think we do a really good job of keeping it organized.
What is it like helping obviously create the graphics for the social
Yeah. I personally did not have a ton of graphic design experience going into this job. I had done some in college, a little bit during my internship, but even with my internship in Charleston, I was a promotions intern. We had our own graphic design intern, so like that was her main job, and I really didn't get too much experience in that. Coming here, Sam Fisher she truthfully taught me a lot. The team has also been great. They paid for me to take a graphic design course to kind of get me through, the basic level of understanding like Adobe Illustrator and Adobe Photoshop. And from there, it's been a lot of just practice, and I'm still learning it. I'm still trying to kind of get it down, but I can definitely say where I was at a year ago compared to now, I've learned some things along the way, and I'm hoping just to keep improving those skills. But it's been fun too. It's challenging, but it's definitely fun, and it's rewarding to see what you can kind of creatively come up with.
What's it like for you to see some of your promotions come to life?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's truthfully one of my favorite parts about the job, because I think that as a promotions manager, like your job is to help your fans have fun, right? And so seeing those promotions come to life, seeing people enjoy them, seeing people go out on the field and participate on fields, and seeing just how much fun they have with it, and watching them create those memories it's priceless. It's an incredible feeling to watch people just make memories with their friends and their family, knowing like they're never going to forget that time they came out on the field with us. And even though I might do that 70 times a season, this is their first and maybe only time they're ever going to do it. And it's really special.
What are some of your favorite memories and moments as a promotions manager?
Yeah, I think that kind of what I was just saying, watching fans create those memories with their loved ones is very special. And then I would say, even from a staff point of things, I think that the staff camaraderie you get in minor league is unmatched compared to, I don't know about other sports necessarily, but maybe other industries. You just get so close with your coworkers. And I think the little moments that you share with fans, but also with your fellow coworkers, of like, if somebody has a birthday, and last season, for example, we celebrated our PA announcer's birthday in the press box 10 minutes before the game started. We all had cake together really quick, just because it's chaotic and it's hectic and you have things to do, but you still want to make those people feel special when you can. And it sounds so cliche and so cheesy, but your coworkers really do become like your family while you're at work, because we all spend so much time together. And it's just very special, those little moments, that add up, and they end up meaning a lot.
Where do you find some of your inspiration when it comes to designing these promotions?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's cool to look just industry wide. I think it's good for teams to build off one each other, get ideas from one another. Back in November, all of the teams in North Carolina actually gathered at the Winston-Salem Bashas Stadium. And we all got together and we got to brainstorm together, talk about ideas, talk about things that we've done in the past. And that was super cool to be able to just bounce ideas off of one another and see what other teams are doing. And then I also just think you have to look at social media, look at trends, look at what people are really into now, and just try to build your brand off of what is popular at the time.
What is that like, obviously being able to bounce ideas off of, let's say, the Winston-Salem, Durham Bulls, and like the Carolina Mudcats promotions managers?
It's fun. It's a lot of fun. It's cool to see what other people come up with. It's cool just to get an idea of what other audiences look like. I mean, yeah, you might think a minor league fan is a minor league fan, whether they're in Winston-Salem or Asheville, but it does look different. Your target markets are going to look different. And so it's interesting sometimes to even see what would work for them, knowing like, oh, that would never work over here in Asheville, but it's really cool that it works for you guys over in Durham. So it's interesting, and it's cool just to, have those connections, meet those people. And we're all kind of going through the same thing, right? We all have to work 66 games this summer. So it's nice to have like just that connection with those people who just get it, who know exactly what it's like to work for a minor league team, and to share that with them it's fun.
What is that balance like between obviously working in the minor leagues and as a promotions manager, and life away from obviously baseball as you work 60 games?
Yeah, it can be tough sometimes. It definitely can. I'm not lying about that. I think that it's very important to be intentional with the time that you do have off. So I try really hard during the season. If I have a day off, even just during the week, of like, all right, Alyssa, like you can take this Wednesday off. Our boss is really great about staggering those days off. So, if we just worked a whole homestand and then we have a week off, he might say, okay, like you two can have Tuesday off, you three can have Wednesday off. And so there's always people here, but we'll get our time off during the week to kind of make up for it. I just think being really intentional, not working. So like not even answering emails, completely just unplugging and spending that time with your loved ones, your friends, your family, whoever that looks like, is really important because they don't get to see you as much, obviously, during the summers when you're working 80 hours a week. And so I think it's important for your own peace of mind and also for your loved ones to really be intentional with that time off and spend it with them.
What is something that you learned now that you didn't know before working in the minor leagues on the promotion side?
I think that there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes that I never knew about, that I think a lot of people don't really know about. There's just a lot of work that happens to prepare for each and every game. And from the fans' point of view, and this is a good thing, we want this, but from their point of view, it seems pretty probably flawless, pretty easy. Like, oh, she just brought some kids out in the field to do some pony hops race, and then she took them off, and that's that. And that's great, and that's how I want them to view it. I just don't think that if you're not in it, I don't think you see all the stuff that happens to work towards that, and how much goes into each and every game. We work so hard to make it the best possible experience for the fans. And I also don't think I fully understood just the importance of skill sets, like being able to multitask is huge when you're working in promotions. You have to have incredible time management skill. You always need to know exactly where you're at in the game. I think some people think that working in sports is sitting there just watching the game. It's not true. It's not true at all. But I do always have to know exactly where we're at in the game, what inning, how many outs, so that I am prepared for that next upcoming promotional thing that we're doing. And then I think also communication. You have to be able to communicate with your promotions team if you have that, with your interns if that's who's helping you, with your press box, so that whatever your PA announcer is saying and your video board director is doing aligns with the promotion that you're about to do. So I just think those skill sets, you never realize how much that they matter until you're in it and you're like, oh, I really got to be good about communicating and time management.
What advice would you give people looking to work in professional sports?
I think that something I always try to really hit home with, like our interns or anybody that I talk to that's looking to work in sports, something that I think is huge and I try to preach is you need to stay humble in this industry. And when I say that, I mean, always have this attitude of my job is not any more or less important than anybody else's job here. It's a team effort. So if that means one day I need to put down what I'm doing and go help roll hot dogs in food and bev, then I need to go do that, because food and beverage operations is not any less important than me running on fields. We all have to work together. We're all on the same playing field, and you have to have that mentality of like it's a team effort for sure. I also think staying humble in the sense of know your worth and know like what you should be starting at, whether that's position, salary, whatever that looks like, but also knowing you do have to start somewhere. So stay humble and knowing like that might look like starting at an internship, and maybe it's an unpaid internship, but that experience is going to matter. So stay humble and know, like I said, know your worth, but know where you need to start and work your way up, and you're going to be just fine if you do those things.
What advice would you give people looking to work on the promotion side in minor league baseball or even in professional sports on the promotion side?
Yeah, as I was saying earlier, like those skill sets, that time management and being able to communicate well, those are all really important. And I also think from a promotion side, you're very fan facing. The fans are always seeing you, they're always talking with you and interacting with you. So something that can be challenging, but also can be really fun is having that like keeping a face on, right? Like sometimes it's hard. You might be tired, you might not really be feeling it, but this is maybe your 60th game, but it might be somebody's first game. So you've got to treat every single game like it's the very first one for those people, because it is. And even if it's not for you, it is their first one. And I just think like having fun with it at the end of the day, like it can be really hard work, but your job is to help other people have fun. So you need to be having fun in the process too. So that's something I just try to remind myself every single day of, like, this might not be my first game, it's other people's though, and I need to help them have fun and create those really awesome memories.
That's great advice. Where can my listeners find you at on social media along with the Asheville Tourists social media app?
Yeah, so the tourists have they have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Our Twitter handle is Go Taurus. Instagram and Facebook, if you look up just Asheville Tourists, it'll come up. Myself, I have Instagram as well. So if you just look up my name, Alyssa Ouirk, should come up. But yeah, the tourists definitely appreciate all the likes and follows we can get for sure. Thanks so much, Brandon. I appreciate it.
You can find Brandon Sports Talk on Facebook at Brandon Sports Talk, Instagram at Brandon Sports Talk, Twitter at Talk_Brandon, and you can find me on YouTube at Brandon Sports Talk. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you, Alyssa Ouirk, for your interview, and best of luck in your future.
Thank you.
You've been watching Brandon Sports Talk. Please feel free to like, share, and subscribe to Brandon Sports Talk on social media and on YouTube.